25% of LGBTQ employees report staying in a job due to an LGBTQ inclusive work environment. This is according to Dina Fidas and Liz Cooper, A Workplace Divided, Understanding the Climate for LGBTQ Workers Nationwide, Human Rights Campaign 2019. I'm Brittany Schweitzer, and this is Calling BS. I have a guest with me. His name is Evan Grants. He is a longtime friend, probably since before we even knew we were friends. We were friends.
Yeah, from the crib.
From the crib. Well, from our dad's young days to now.
Yeah,
We go way back. And Evan is also one of my employees at my company, which
some
is
might say
pretty
the
cool.
best.
One of the best employees.
The-
So what do you identify as?
Gay male.
Now, within your coming out and all that, did you ever think that you might have been just bi, ever, or have you always felt gay?
Oh yeah, for sure. I would say like I didn't come to the conclusion I wasn't bi until like the last like 4 or 5 years. Um,
Yeah.
I mean like that might have been like a back of my mind, me just coming out being like, okay, let's just say it. But yeah, up until about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. So what is your coming out story? I've known you for a long time, but I don't think I actually know like how it all went down.
Well, like it really kind of started in college, my freshman year. And I like met and like a guy that had just recently graduated, and he ran around the same friend group, and we had like developed a friendship, and we tried to test the waters and such, and I just wasn't for it, and I kind of retreated back. And when that happened, like there's just some bad things that didn't like I don't know for an 18-year-old, it was not like the drama I was trying to be a part of, and so it kind of like
Yeah.
pushed me back into the closet for a long time, because I just that's like what my view of like the gay world was, and I was like I don't want to be a part of that. But then it just took me to get a little bit older and a little bit more perspectives for me to become more understanding with myself, so I could come out and be tell people that.
Yeah. Did you struggle telling your parents or people in school?
Yeah, it I was definitely out with like my friends because I went to like to WKU in Bowling Green. So there was a 2 hour difference from like a drive for my parents. So there was that buffer, and so I felt more comfortable coming out to friends in limited ways there before I came out to my parents. But when I did decide to come out to my parents, I mean, you know my parents. I mean, they're my dad's first question was like, "Well, are you the boy or the girl?" And my mom was like smacking him upside the head, like. And then they were like, and then he was like, "I can't wear underwear anymore." And I was like, "Okay, like this is enough." And like that was it. Like it was a very anticlimactic, I guess, moment for me. I guess it wasn't as big of a deal as what I thought. It was literally like a conversation, and we went and had dinner.
I mean, that's good.
And, oh yeah, it
That's
was
how most.
great. I loved it. I mean, I was. I'm lucky. I'm lucky to have parents that like that. And,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. There's some that don't have that support system and whatnot, but man, your mom is very supportive in everything that you do.
Oh, she is. She loves it.
Yes, she has a big heart, and she would when you're not with somebody, she wants to hook you up with somebody
Oh yeah,
with a, and she does it with the kindness of her heart. She's so supportive, which is awesome.
she is. She has so much love to give and just doesn't know where to direct it at times.
Yeah. Oh, it's the best.
She is. She is the sweetest. I mean, she called me today just to ask how my boyfriend's doing because I had surgery and such like that. And I mean, she's just riding on cloud nine. Both of her kids have significant others. So she's
She loves it.
she is just enjoying it. She's on just cloud nine, like I said.
That's good. At
Yeah,
least she's calling and asking you about that because again, there's some parents that don't even want to like touch on the subject
and
and don't even want to check in with their kids.
I can never understand that. I guess I do have family members that I don't know like would be this open and loving, but like for like
Yeah.
the most part, I would say so many of my family members, I think they would go to battle for like any of their kids if they came out
Oh,
as gay. Any of them.
yeah,
Like they would
absolutely.
fight tooth and nail, and it's so surprising that like I'm the only gay one out of that whole group. But
That is very surprising because you come from like a an extended family that's how many deep? Probably almost 50 deep.
something like that. I don't know any of the newer kids' names. It's I have to wait for somebody to say it around me. I've gotten to that point.
All your like second cousins and third
Yeah,
cousins.
second and third ones, I'm just like, gosh, all right, where's your mommy? Which one is your mommy?
Yeah.
Like, who are you? But I love my family. I've had such a very loving and accepting family, and from the moment I came out, like, it was like, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Love Simon, like where the Jennifer Gardner says like
Yeah.
just breathe, and like that's how I felt like my family just all felt like when like I came around that first time, like everyone was just like, okay, like we can all like just talk, and like it was
Yeah, cuz
it was a very easy
they
transition.
they knew
Oh yeah,
when you were younger.
oh yeah. I mean, when I asked for a
Just
Barbie
how you
doll,
were. How you were, people were like, "Yeah, he's definitely gonna be gay." Like he just hasn't said it yet.
yeah, and it just took me a while to like really become okay with me and like just be okay to say that about myself. And I think it just took a lot of different me meeting a lot of different people and learning a lot of different perspectives.
And I think that's a big part of it growing up. You and I both grew up in the Catholic school system,
Yeah,
and honestly, there really wasn't that many gay people within it that we knew of, at least not for
exactly.
me.
And it
So I
really
wasn't
wasn't.
around it either.
Yeah, and it wasn't like. I mean, I wouldn't say that either of our school would necessarily like discriminate against a gay kid,
No.
but at the same time, like I don't know, and at that age, it's so hard to make that kind of decision.
Yes.
I don't think I could even to this day come out at that young of an age. That'd be a hard decision.
Well, and it's what's wild to me is I feel like it's happening more and more at younger ages.
Yeah,
Like I feel like I'm hearing about more and more kids coming out in high school and even in like middle school and stuff.
yeah,
And that just blows my mind because it's like there was like moments that I thought about it when I was young, but it wasn't like, yes, that's me. It was just like, oh, okay, move on. Like
yeah. It
I'm
was
supposed to
just
I'm supposed to have boyfriends and all this stuff.
yeah,
I'm supposed to fit in with everybody else. And then once I went to college and realized, oh, there's another world out there. That's when it was just like, ding.
exactly. And even in college, it took me to get into like the right group of people where like I finally felt accepting, which is so sad because my friends that I had made before that, like after I've came
Hmm.
out now, the fact like they have like came up to me and been like, I don't understand like why you couldn't come out to me and blah blah blah. And like I don't know, it's a very personal thing and I feel bad that I couldn't at that time, but it might not have
Yeah.
just been them. There's a lot of factors. Like there's a lot of people I would have loved to come out to from day one, but like you just have to, you know, you got a lot of stuff going on in your head during that time.
You do. And it's almost like you're just telling so many people. You're not sitting there checking marks like, yes, I told this person and this person and this person. You're just like, when you felt like it was the moment, you're going to tell them.
Oh, and I love that fact about my mom. When I came out to them, one of her questions was like, "So do I need to tell the family?" And I was like, "Yes, you have
Yeah,
that
that's how I was.
responsibility."
Like, please,
That was
just send a text message, let them know.
yeah. Like I'm just gonna change my update on Facebook and see if anybody notices. Like that was my plan.
Yeah.
But
It's just exhausting to have to come out over and over again.
it really is, and it's so funny. Patrick, my boyfriend, like he's just started a new job, and like he's having to come out over and over again, and he's just talking about how frustrating it is for him. And thankfully, I mean, when I started working with you, you knew I was gay. Your mom and dad knew, but nobody else really did. But I don't guess it really didn't ever matter there. There's like one
No.
employee at one time that made me feel uncomfortable, but he's no longer here. And like
Yeah.
that was like it. And like it wasn't even him making me feel uncomfortable about being gay because he didn't know. It was about him assuming I wasn't gay and how he was approaching me and talking. And like
Yeah.
that's where I got uncomfortable.
Yeah. Asking about girlfriends and stuff to you.
Yeah, and like pointing women out to me when we were at trade shows, I was just like I'm not here
Nothing.
for this. I'm not here for
Yeah.
this. But I don't
And I
even,
think that's a also slightly different generation.
but it is because
It was
even when I came out, my parents were also still like, oh, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. I mean, like I don't know. I guess that is their generation where they just say it.
yes. I think you're brought up thinking about those. I mean, there's moments where I'm even oh, there was a simple one of one of our friends is pregnant. She's going to the hospital, and we're talking about everything with COVID going on and how you can only have one person in the hospital room. And Blake naturally goes, yeah, so that one person would be the husband. I go, or the wife? Did you forget that we were gay? But I think it's just because we were brought up for so long
Oh
thinking
yeah.
you're going to marry a man and a woman go together. And we just instinctively just say, husband, wife, they go together, even though we're in a wife and wife relationship.
I think it's easier at the end of the day to say something like that than it is to like stop and like have to explain yourself and such like that. Like,
But she was even talking to one of her friends that's super, super open, that definitely has known that she was gay ever since she was a child. But
yeah.
it's just your brain is programmed, I feel like, for so long thinking that way.
And not many queer couples, at least that I know of, necessarily have children right now either. So like that might not even be a thought for a lot of queer couples to think about to say.
Yeah, that's true. Now, within college, I know you had a couple of jobs.
Hmm.
So, did you come out at those jobs? Like, was that in the process of you coming out?
I think
Were you
so.
doing work?
Yeah, I think that I worked I worked a couple of smaller jobs at the start of college, but when I turned 20, I could serve alcohol. I worked at a
Mhm.
restaurant. And I mean, I've heard it said a million times, like everybody should work in a restaurant once, kind of deal. And like, I 100% agree because the people there, I don't know like what it was about them, like if I was just at the right place, right time, but like that, like I just felt so much more comfortable in a setting like that. And the people there, like, were just a lot more comfortable to be around. And like, I was in a fraternity, and I didn't even come out to them until later down the road. And like,
Mhm.
I don't know why that was. Um, and I guess I also was able to gravitate towards more females, probably is what that was. I was able to talk to them a little
Yeah.
bit more than when I was in my fraternity, because I just didn't have as much in common, I guess, at the end of the day. But no, like that's really what helped me was finding a group of people in an industry, and like they let me be comfortable being myself without judging. And like
Yeah.
so many of those people are still some of my best friends today. Like I've lived with a couple of them. Like one of them I talk to probably every day for like 30 minutes. You've met them,
Mhm.
Taylor. I mean, like,
Yeah.
and I think that was what ultimately helped me to do was my job. It was like it gave me a space to let me almost explore myself in a way, let me come out.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like partially with the whole like fraternity sorority thing, I think there's so much of a stigma and you don't want to be judged because I don't think I ever actually came out to my whole sorority.
Yeah,
I think it was all of a sudden one day I just put that I was in a relationship with somebody on social media. Now I told my core group of people that were within my sorority that mattered to me, but I didn't blatantly tell everybody in the sorority
yeah,
about myself. And I think it was, and a lot of the girls in my sorority turned out being gay. So it's just
same.
funny that you're so afraid to tell people. And I think it's still, we came from, you came from an all guys high school. I came from an all girls high school. I almost just feel like that was a sense of a transition of going from the high school to a sorority, and you're kind of feeling the same way in a sense.
But
It
it's
was
not.
almost
I don't know.
it's not. It's not,
But it is.
but it is. Yeah, it
Yeah,
just
it is. Yeah. No, I agree. And I, I, it's so funny because like after I've graduated college and left, so many have came out as gay. And I don't know about you, but like my experience with the fraternity was the fraternity that I left wasn't the fraternity I came into. Kind of like a lot
oh,
of the mentality had changed, and when I came into it, it was like the president at the time was gay, the president before him was gay, and the president before him was gay,
oh
and like
wow.
yeah, and well, like two of them were in the closet, but I later came out at different dates, and so like the people that I came into that fraternity with were so much more open, and I think that if it had stayed in that kind of atmosphere, I would probably came out to them. But like we
Hmm.
slowly, like we just became like a very stereotypical fraternity kind of deal, and like there was still a
Yeah,
lot of great guys in it, but like I wasn't comfortable like letting that be known to the whole. I think like
yeah,
I don't know, like I didn't know how the whole of the fraternity would receive me
yes,
at that point. Like it wasn't like a place I was comfortable with anymore.
yeah,
I think that's why when I did find a work environment and I found people that I really clicked with, I kind of latched on to them. And I mean, like I said, we're still very close to this day. And I guess they helped me build up that confidence that I could be an out gay
yeah.
male.
Now, within working at in the restaurants and stuff, did you tell like managers and stuff, or
But,
was it mainly just your coworkers that were on the same level with you,
um,
servers and stuff?
at first, I really didn't like. I just like. It, I mean, like I really don't. I didn't say any one way or another. I kind of let them figure that out for themselves.
Yeah.
Um, But coincidentally enough, one of the managers at the restaurant that I eventually like won that click with, it was a fraternity brother of mine from like he was like 3 or 4 years older than me, so he was like
Mhm.
on the way out as I was on my way in. But it was still somebody that I was a little bit more comfortable with when it like when those kind of things came about. And then like he actually ended up being gay too. Like I'm telling you, my whole fraternity, like they're all homosexuals. They're all homosexuals. They're just all hidden. But so when I did come out, because he already had a fiance at the time, so I knew he was gay, and so like me approaching him about being gay, like it never like seemed like an issue. If
Yeah.
anything, like it made us closer, like because I guess that was like his like signal to be like, okay, Lala, we can gossip. And I was like, okay.
Too funny. Did you work anywhere else besides working in the service industry during college?
Yeah, I did work for a Dunkin' Donuts for 2 years.
Yeah.
Um, During that time, I mainly worked with there were some like a couple of my fraternity brothers, and then it was very like religious people. So I definitely wasn't. And it was at the time that I was very in the closet. I had a girlfriend at the time. Um, like and I wasn't somewhere I would ever want to come out to. Not that
Yeah,
like
so
I
no
think that
one knew there.
yeah, like I don't think I would ever gotten like punished for coming out as gay. I just didn't want like that stigma, like when the boss like came in to talk to me or something like that. Like I didn't want that at the back of her head, and I knew that's
Yeah.
the kind of person she would be. It's like not something that
Yeah.
I can put my sexuality to the back. And I was like I said, I was
Yeah.
still really trying to figure it out at that time. At that time, I was very like hard on the bisexual train. Like we're gonna make this ride. Like we're gonna get it.
Yeah.
But clearly that did not work.
Yes. It did not. So yeah, it's almost just, I feel like if you were to tell somebody that's so religious, I mean, you think of scenarios in your head. You know, when
Yeah,
you are gonna come out to anybody, you're like, this is how they're gonna treat me. So then being religious, you're probably thinking, well, they're just gonna have this certain view of me, and they could treat me different, especially a boss. So what if she was so religious, she decided to cut your hours. I mean, there's just so many things that
Yeah.
could have happened. You just don't know, and
Yeah.
it's scary. But at the same time, you knew it was a temporary job. You weren't going to be there full time, like working at
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. I'd be rolling down the street. I ate too much there. No, you're exactly right, and I think that's why. Because after I got a taste for the restaurant industry, like, and to this day, like, if I had the time, I would love to serve on the side. Like, I love serving.
That's too funny.
I love it. Like, it's something that I've always like enjoyed. Like, I like being able to constantly like meet tables, but for like just very limited time before I'm sending them on their way and they give me money. Like, that's
Yeah.
what I love
I
about
mean,
that.
that's a good deal.
Yeah. But the restaurant industry is just such a very colorful cast of people, and I was also very young at that age, and so like I don't know, like when I got into that colorful cast, it was just very different. It was a very different world, and I was able to find like a little bit of place where I could fit in, and like
Yeah.
and it's funny like because some of the people that I ended up working with, like I said, I've been friends with them for years, and they've moved to Louisville. They've never lived here before, just to be closer to other of us that have lived here, and that's what I think the restaurant industry is what gave me that courage.
Now, within the wet restaurant industry, I mean, has any customers have they said anything or did anything while you worked?
I can't like I can't recall of any of them. Um, and if they had, I've like brushed it off to that point. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't a big enough deal for me to like get upset. Like, where's there customers that maybe like they were like a little pretentious, and like if I acted more gay than what I like like if I acted gay, like maybe I might not get the reaction that I need from them just to
Yeah.
give me money. But I don't know. Like because it's also like I'm very limited on how much I'm seeing people. Like, and I didn't work for a restaurant where like they let me like dress like with like stickers and all that. So like, I don't feel like I got that. Like they were giving that opportunity to discriminate against me, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So from restaurants to Dunkin' Donuts was working for me the next.
Yeah, I mean, unless you count working for my dad, which he has to get over it one way or another if he wants to sleep.
Yeah.
So
Well, within there, I mean, was there any issues working? I mean, you sold liquor and cigars and whatnot. Were there any?
no, oh my God, no. I mean, there's some customers that I would still love to see every day here. I don't know. I've always just loved Louisville, and like because that's where
Yeah.
we're from, both me and you. And like I've always thought Louisville's just been a very open place. Like I've never felt uncomfortable being able to like walk down the street like holding a man's hand in Louisville. Like
Yeah.
maybe certain areas I wouldn't want to, but like as a whole.
Yeah.
And I was never met with people that ever would say anything to me if they weren't happy about it.
Yeah.
Especially employees. I mean, like all the employees have always been nice to me, and I've ran into a couple of them at Pride events or similar like events and such. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah,
That's
after
yeah.
that would be you and the big
Yeah.
rainbow cloud of Vericorp. There's like three of us.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I guess within working for me, so you have a different perspective than anyone else I've talked to. Um, I mean, how was it coming into my
I don't know.
work and
I think it was interesting at first because you were still pretty like new coming out and you were new taking over the company and I was new starting and relatively new coming out as well. And like I knew when I first came in, like it's like there are certain people that you're like, I don't know how they would feel about this and that. And like those people are like the top, like has surprisingly been like the ones that have just been over it. They're like, yes.
yes.
And I don't know, like that first year, especially with that employee that made me, I mean, he really didn't make me feel that uncomfortable. We saw him maybe like 5 times. Um,
Yeah.
but other than that, like I've never gotten like an uncomfortable feeling. I mean, me and your mom, I've known her since again the crib, so
Yeah.
that wasn't an issue. And everybody else, I don't know, like, especially when I started, everybody was a family friend too, in one
Yeah.
way or another. So it was like there's like no
Yeah.
reason to get mad at each other. Like I don't feel like there's a reason at this point to get mad at each other. You know, like we're
No.
all still family, like we're all still friends, and we all get along.
Yeah. I know it's like everyone came to Blake and I's wedding reception,
Yeah,
well, except for one person. I think he was sick or something like that. But
his wife fell in the shower.
that's what it was. I was like, it was something along those lines. But
Yeah, it was something
what I mean,
random.
but no one has batted an eye,
No,
even
I don't.
telling them anything.
I don't think
We've been,
anyone cares at all.
yeah. I mean, luckily I can pick and choose who comes into our work and who works for my company,
I
and
better watch
so
out. This might be used as evidence one day, Brittany.
oh, you better watch yourself too.
No, I
So do
don't
you,
think that there's ever been like an issue when it comes to sexuality or any kind of thing and like on those lines at our company,
yeah,
which has been nice.
yeah, just being who you are and talking about who you're dating, like that's a big thing.
Yeah,
Feeling comfortable to be able to talk about it.
yeah. And like this was the first year I brought anybody to the company Christmas party, which was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is probably one of your first serious relationships within the last couple of years, though. Since really you
Yeah.
started working with us or working for
Yeah.
me, there wasn't anyone seriously quite yet.
Yeah. No, I think that he's definitely like the most serious, like emotionally that I've been with since like
Yeah.
coming out. Like, yeah, that I've been with people for like extended period of times as well, but like not like as emotionally invested with each other.
Yeah. Which I thought was awesome you brought him to the Christmas party.
Yeah, it was a little nervous walking in, but I don't know. I mean, like, I didn't know why. Like, there was no reason to be nervous.
I know, I was like, "You're walking into my house." Like, literally, you're walking into my own personal house.
Yeah,
Blake and I just got married. We didn't care. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And obviously, if anything would have
Oh, it
been
turned out
said or done,
fine. It turned out
yeah,
perfect. I don't know why. I was just like I was a little anxious. I guess it was like the first time like I've actually like brought like somebody to something, like ever really.
yeah. Do you have any tips or anything for anybody that would be listening?
If you're young, work in the restaurant industry. It's fun, and you'll meet somebody you like. Like, yeah, there's gonna be assholes, but you'll meet somebody you like, and like
Yeah,
will enjoy and will make you a better person when you're out there.
yeah,
And probably a worse person. But you gotta take the good with the
yeah.
bad.
Absolutely. You're not always gonna work with people that you necessarily agree with fully,
Oh God, no.
but at least you can find some connections within your workplace where you're comfortable. You're there majority of your work or your weeks, you know.
Might as well like enjoy speaking to the people that you're stuck with.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's
you don't wanna be stuck with duds.
yeah, and that's my philosophy in just life in general. Like there's not enough time to like have fighting like that. Like if I don't want to talk to you, like we don't have to talk. But I'd rather just sit here and have a casual conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this.
All
It
right.
was great hearing your story. I had never actually heard your side of the story. Hey guys, it's me, Brittany. As we get closer to June, which is Pride Month, I have decided that I am going to do two things during this month. I would love to have an episode every week, and so we will not be every 2 weeks in June. You'll get an episode every week from me. Along with that, I also want to help nonprofits and organizations. So I will be sharing some nonprofits to donate to on social media and possibly on my website. It's still all in the works. So stay tuned to our social media pages to see who to donate to and what organizations will be helping out. Two things. Every Thursday, I will have an episode in June, and donations for all nonprofit organizations that are helping the LGBTQ community. Happy Pride Month, y'all.